welcome to From the South, from the headquarters of teleSUR English in Havana, Cuba. My name is Pablo Micheliche. We begin with the news. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro denounced a false flag operation planned by the national far right to justify any aggression by U.S. imperialism against the national territory. During his television program Con Maduro Más, the president reported that state security and intelligence agencies are continuing their investigations into those responsible for the false flag operation against the U.S. Embassy in Caracas. In this regard, President Maduro emphasized that the Venezuelan government guarantees the protection of the U.S. Embassy in full compliance with the Geneva Agreement, contrary to Washington's actions against the Venezuelan diplomatic headquarters on U.S. territory. In turn, the Venezuela head of state reiterated Venezuela's position in defense of its sovereignty and territorial integrity in the face of any threat or attempt at aggression against the country.
Work with a lot of seriousness and professionalism. There were sources, one of a national character and the other one was international, and through follow-up they both agreed on the possibility of a group, a terrorist group, an extremist local group would put an explosive charge against the U.S. Embassy in Caracas, which is an embassy that, besides all of the differences that we have had with the governments of the United States, it is protected and preserved as the Geneva and international law mandates. It is protected by a government that is an embassy that, as all of the embassies are permanently taken care of, attended, and respected, the U.S. Embassy in Venezuela is a territory of the United States, not the same thing as our embassies in Washington, which everyone knows that were assaulted and illegally occupied.
President Nicolás Maduro addressed Venezuela's economic resurgence from an international perspective.
Have to look for a great balance, which I have said that is a fundamental challenge for the months and years to come. I have said it many times this year, a great balance between what is the production, the national production and the satisfaction of the necessities, and the production of richness in currencies, and the reduction we wish reduce to the maximum, and I would say radically, almost to zero, the imports that we don't need and that don't implement to the growth of the richness of the country.
We continue in Venezuela. Citizens took to the streets of Caracas in a march for peace and in defense of the country's sovereignty against imperialist aggression by the United States government. Social and community movements joined the Venezuelan people in a massive mobilizations to reject U.S. aggression in the Caribbean, demanding an end to hostilities against the South American nation, which only seeks to generate a change of government to impose a model subjugated to its interest. Similarly, the Venezuelan people denounced the complicit silence of the international community in the face of the United States' attempts to attack Venezuela and urged the strengthening of the United Nations multilateral system. In this regard, the march reiterated its firm support for President Nicolás Maduro in the face of what the population has described as a hybrid and psychological war driven by the U.S. government.
El pueblo venezolano ha marchado el día de hoy, como lo ha hecho ayer, antier, como lo han hecho.
The Venezuelan people have marched today as they did yesterday, the day before yesterday, and as they have done throughout these weeks. Today, in front of the United Nations, to demand that the United Nations do what it has to do, that it do what the United Nations was founded to do, which is to preserve peace, which is to guarantee peace. The nations of the world, the peoples of the world demand peace. Today, 98% of Venezuelans demand that peace be respected in the hemisphere, that peace be respected in Latin America.